Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Horst Lüning. I'm the master taster of Whisky.com, and today we have a new presentation of the Glenmorangie Astar here on my cask. And the first release of the Glenmorangie Astar came out in 2008, and I had a sample of it in 2010. And that old Astar was already a successor to the old artisan cask series. They were half-liter bottles, smaller bottles, where they put their emphasis on the casks from the Ozark Mountains, which is a national park and huge forestry region in the south of Missouri, north of Arkansas, and the west of Tennessee. And there are a lot of slow-growing oak trees, are growing for the whiskey industry, and those slow-growing oak trees have very thin rings from year to year, and this leads to a special taste in the oak character during maturation of the whiskey. Then in 2008, the first Astar came up on the market, and in 2017, the second release of the Astar was released, and this was in September 2017. And I'm sorry about that. I had no time to take that video due to the holiday season, which is very, very busy for me. And the distributor was so kind to send me a sample of this Astar. The old one had 57.1% ABV, the old 100 proof from the Imperial alcohol system. And this one is down to 52.5, so it's quite near to the strength which I'm tasting neat. But this is the first one I have today, and there's another one coming. Probably I will dilute it down a little bit. On the card box, there are a few things. The name Astar does not mean there is a star born or something like that. No, Astar is Gaelic and means the journey. And in particular, this means the journey of the cask from the Ozark Mountains through the Kentucky whiskey industry, where at first a Kentucky straight bourbon is matured for 4 years in those casks, and then they're coming over to Scotland, are filled with the Glenmorangie in the region of the Northern Highlands. Return as a 2017 limited edition brings forth a newfound richness and complexity to its silken depth. The card box is quite the same to the last one, but here there's the 2017 release mark on it. So if you see bottles without that, they will be from 2008, and they, I think, are quite valuable today. This is that. To exact designs, staves are hewn from these vast oaks, left to season in the open air for at least 2 years. Well, there had been scientific investigations how to treat those staves in the US, and there are differences between the industrialized dried staves and the air-dried staves, and there are differences between 1 year and 2 year in the open, and they are dried in the open air for at least 2 years. The wood begins to breathe and soften. Even at this stage, it gains the first elements of flavor that will shine in the final whiskey, notably tones of vanilla and creme brulee. Creme brulee is this vanilla cream with vanilla bourbon vanilla in it, and this is then caramelized, and this brings caramel tones as well as vanilla tones. The stave are then coopered into oak casks and gently toasted to contribute further flavors of almond and coconut. So they're toasted, that means they are heated up to 150 degrees centigrade, probably a little more, because above those 150 degrees centigrade, the celluloses in the cask is cut to wood sugars, and those wood sugars are caramelized, which bring the brown color. This is uncolored, unchill filtered whiskey, brings the brown color into the whiskey and those caramel tones. Filled with our renowned, delicate and complex spirit, they begin a long, slow maturation. Yeah, non-chill filtered for extra texture. It offers a lovely, deep, rich, silky creaminess, a dram designed for malt whiskey lovers, so that they can then embark upon their own pleasure, sensory journey, blur, blur, blur. Yeah, here we go. And this one is from August 2017. So they filled at first those samples, and then the press releases went out with these samples, and everybody tasted it. Just not me, because I was so busy. Yeah, sweet, fruity, and a distinct vanilla note. Yes. And there's some coolness in it. I think it's the alcohol with a 52.5 ABV. And this coolness remembers, yeah, mint, anise seed, eucalyptus, something like that. But the vanilla note and the fruitiness is dominant. There should be a honey note in it, but no, I'm sorry. But the citrus note of the Glenmorangie, where it's famous for, is definitely there. And balanced, friendly, creamy. So the nose is really complex compared to a normal 10-year-old Glenmorangie. So the casks have an important influence, a distinctive influence on this whiskey. And there's no age statement on this Glenmorangie, but if you look at the color, it's uncolored, and have the nose, I would say it's definitely older than the 10 or 12 years old from the typical, the original, or the extra matured range. Yeah, so it's a little bit too strong for the first whiskey this evening. So I dilute it down, just down below 50, so 46, 48. It opens up a little bit, more fruitiness, fresh, but distinct vanilla notes, caramel, stronger, and this menthol smell is there. So it's strong in the oak. Yeah. The oak is surprisingly strong. In the past, in 2008, I had a view at the old video. The oakiness wasn't that strong. It was much smoother, and today the oak is intense and still stays on my tongue. Light bitter note on it, chocolate note. No silky aftertaste, no, not at all. It's a little bit creamy, yes, but the oak is strong, yes. Yeah. So this is a untypical, intense Glenmorangie. Lots of oak. It remembers me of the 18-year-old, which is very spicy due to the long time in oak. And this has this spiciness as well, this oakiness and spiciness. Yeah, stronger than it is written on the card box. Probably because this is the first one today, so that the impact on my tongue is quite strong and the ABV is quite high. So probably this might have an influence on it. The price is not too cheap. It's in the 80s, euros, dollars, pounds. And, well, it's limited. It seems to be quite high for a no age statement whiskey, but I think those whiskies are quite old because the oak is so intense, or the majority of the whiskies in this bottle are intense. So that I think the price is justified. Yeah, and you get those 52.5, so you can dilute a little bit. Perhaps you reach a full liter instead of 0.7 or 0.75 by diluting it a little bit. Yeah, thank you for watching. Stay tuned. There's more as always. Thank you very much.